Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. I'm here at the Centennial Conservatory for the Etobicoke Bonsai Show. So let's go inside and have a look. I always like coming into this greenhouse here for the show. There's so many cool trees. There's the sign. Misseto Club. Bonsai show, free admission. Let's head inside. Here we are. The big show. Hello, hello, hello. I'm good, thanks. Here it is. Wow. Beautiful lighting in this greenhouse. There's John and Jay. Everyone's here. We'll start the tour with an eastern white cedar forest, an old ancient forest. You can see the texture on the trunk down here, all the ribbed veins, which indicates a lot of old age. Yeah, nice ancient forest, nicely pruned up. And here we have another ancient eastern white cedar. Very, very old, this one. There's the dead wood on the trunk. Live vein up into the canopy. And here is a trident maple. Looking really nice. Beautiful leaves on it. And here is a ginkgo biloba, maidenhair tree, kind of a windswept style. Very interesting trunk on it. Yeah, looking really good. Got some style to it. Here is a Shimpaku juniper. Looking really nice. Nice fine foliage. Yeah, really well developed tree. And here is a bonsai in flower, a crown of thorns, Euphorbia millii. Looking nice. And here is an Austrian pine, Pinus nigra. Ancient old tree. Here's a Japanese maple, Acer palmatum, the blood good variety. Lovely leaves. Here's a smaller Shimpaku juniper. Beautiful pot, beautiful moss, roots, very nicely displayed. And here is a larch forest, tamarack forest. It's got a landscape underneath here with moss and a rock. Trees are looking ancient. And here is a Sarissa japonica, exposed root style. It's got some flowers up top, which is always nice. Quite a branch structure here too. And there's the exposed roots. Yeah, an old tree, looking good. Here's a Japanese alpine willow, cascade style. Very interesting. Not sure I've ever seen one of these before. Very cool pot with it. Yeah, really nicely displayed. Here's a collection of stones, accent plants, and a pot. So there's kind of a quartz or marble stone up top. plant there. Pot and a stone. Very cool. Some succulents and a couple of stones down below. Very interesting. Here's an interesting tree. I'm not sure what the common name for it is, but here's a look at it. Very nice pot. Good styling to the tree. Here's a Portulacaria afra, or speckboom tree. 3 trees in this planting and a nice long landscape pot. I really like that. Really gives a feeling of landscape. Nicely developed tree. Yeah, looks really, really good. Here's a Canadian tamarack forest or larch forest. Very light, airy feeling to the canopy. And some ancient trunks. They look very old. Some nice crackling bark on them. Yeah, beautiful little forest. Here is a potentilla. This is a native tree to Canada, or shrub. Beautiful bark on it. You can see the interplay between the deadwood and the live veins. And beautiful foliage. And they usually get yellow or white flowers on them. Here is a Japanese garden juniper. Lots of deadwood on the trunk. Nice branch placement. Looking good. John up here is doing a demo.
Just saying that if you look outside, you can see their Canadian cedar. This looks like hinoki, Japanese hinoki, but it's very recent development and cultivation. This is a Tuya occidentalis variety that looks like hinoki. So it's
here is an apple tree, Malus, and it has apples on it, which is quite early. Boy, do they look good. Yeah, nice small leaves. Wonderful trunk and root base. Yeah, very impressive apple. Here's an Alberta spruce. Nice canopy on top here with fine foliage. Kind of a multi-trunk tree. The one side is dead, but the other one is living. Yeah, very nice. Here's a jade. I sure like the pot. I like that. It suits the jade. Here's another jade, and I can tell this one is quite old by the bark on it. It's turning that silvery kind of color. It's got a bit of texture to it. Very cool. And here is a Shimpaku juniper. Nice foliage. Nice pot. That rough old trunk there. Kind of octopus style branches. Here is another Shimpaku juniper. And it has got quite a trunk on it. And there's some deadwood, some ribbons of deadwood. Again, those octopus style branches spreading out. And here is a catalpa tree. Very large leaves in nature, and these are miniaturized. It's still large, but it has a charm to it. It's a very unusual tree. You don't see it at bonsai shows hardly ever. And you can see the remains of a bean pod on it here. They get all these kind of long beans hanging down off them. Yeah, so that's cool to see a catalpa at a show. Here's a bird's nest spruce. So you can see the natural growth habit of them. It's horizontal rather than shooting up vertical like most spruce. So they're good for bonsai. You can get nice flat branches. And this is quite a trunk on this one. Yeah, it's looking good. Kind of a windswept flat top style. And here is a Blaui juniper. So the Blaui junipers have more of a bluey colored foliage over the shimpacus. Shimpacus are usually a bright green. And there's an ancient Chinese stone down below it here. Yeah, it's looking really good. Nice structure to the tree. And here is a Chinese juniper. Common garden juniper. Looking good. Nice fine foliage on it. Quite an ancient trunk. Getting some nice veins on it. It's looking good. Here's a cool accent plant, some ferns, some thuja seedlings in there. Looking cool. Here's a Cascade Natal plum. Seems to be the common form for these Natal plums is to create the cascades out of them. I think it's because the branches kind of naturally hang down. Looks really, really healthy. Yeah, very nice tree. And here is a Juniper procumbens. Looking nice. Some deadwood on the trunk. Quite a bit of deadwood on the trunk. Yeah, it looks really good. Nice branch structure. There's a Ginkgo biloba, maidenhair tree. Getting old, you can see all the bark flaking off the trunk. Cool. Yeah, it's getting a beautiful branch structure on it. Looking really nice. Here's a pyracantha, firethorn. You can see it's just covered in berries. So they'll either turn a bright red or a bright orange in the fall. And there's the trunk of the tree, kind of a slant style, or I guess it's a cascade or semi-cascade style. Here is a larch forest tamarax. Cool group. Some landscaping down here with a stone. A group of 3 over here and 2 over on the other side. 5 trees total. Looking good. And here is a Cascade Juniper procumbens. Quite a nice looking healthy cascade branch on it. Very, very twisty. Yes, a very twisty tree. And here is a Scots pine. Looking nice. There's the old bark, and then it flakes off and you get this reddish colored trunk on it. Nice short needles and very dense branches. Yeah, nicely developed tree. And here is a water jasmine. Looking nice. Yeah, nice tree. And here is a Japanese maple. Beautiful foliage on it. Very small leaves, tight. Yeah, it looks awesome. Love that. Here's a look at the branch structure. The trunk. Quite a wild root base on it. Lovely tree. Here is a Blaui juniper, and you can really see the bluey green foliage on it here. This one's very, very tight. It looks really nice. Almost like clouds, the branches. And an old trunk on it. Got a few deadwood elements. Yeah, it looks really good. Nice tree. Here we have a dwarf jade, or Portulacaria afra. Very old one. Check out the size of the trunk on that. Thick. And very, very fine foliage up top. Nice density. Yeah, it looks really good. Here's a viewing stone set in a bed of sand to look like water with ripples. Yeah, lovely stone. Here's a Japanese snowbell forest. Beautiful small leaves, nice branch structure. Wonderful landscaping and mossing under the forest. Yeah, looks really cool. The demo is finished. This is what John has turned this tree into. So John, are you happy with it? Very nice. There are lots of people here at the show today. People coming through, club members from various different clubs. Lots of bonsai talk going on. Here's Reno with his award-winning jade. It won Best of Show at the Toronto Cactus and Succulent Show. And this is the tree that he brought over, how many years ago was that? Like 3 or 4?
Yes, 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
We did some big chops.
And we did some big cuts to it. And you can see how it's healing, looking really good. So that's an update to that tree we worked on. And I'll show you a photo of what it looked like back then. Here is the next tree we're going to be working on. It's a giant jade. And I've done a sketch. I'll show you what I kind of envisioned for it. So here's the sketch here. So reducing the trunks on this side, putting the emphasis on the slanting trunk and building kind of a canopy here, and then encouraging it to go into a bit of a semi-cascade down on this side, the left side. So that's the plan for it. So let's get out the pruners and begin. So here's the plan, keeping these lower branches and pruning off these vertical ones. Keep it out of the rain if you can.
Yeah,
it's in the greenhouse. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. That is looking really dramatic.
Oh my goodness. I need a drink.
What do you think, Laura?
It's really hot. It's too much for my heart.
Here is a cascade cedar in a crescent-shaped pot. And it looks really old. Look at the trunk on it down there. Yeah, very nice composition. Here is a splash of color, a bougainvillea. Lots of flowers on it, very vibrant. Kind of a windswept design. And here is a viewing stone. Sort of a mountaintop stone, looking really nice. Here is a Hinoki cypress planting. Quite a cool landscape with the stones cemented together.
Like any grow mango. See this?
Yes and no.
Very, very nice.
We here in Canada, lychee, you could do.
Get out here, we're
a bunch
becoming
of
long
stuff.
time.
Yeah, no, you could do, but like the apples grow well for us. So that's why we do the apples.
That is wonderful.
Yes.
A little addition here.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Here's a Blowy juniper, and here's the owner posing with it. It's a wonderful tree.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. So here's a look, beautifully prepared. Look at the moss. Wonderful. Root base is excellent. Trunk is brushed, that nice red color. It's got the interplay between the dead wood and the live wood. And just beautiful foliage on it. Wonderful tree. Hello.
Hello.
What is your name?
Robert?
Robert. And you are 94 years old, you said?
Yes.
And you have trees in the show today?
Yeah, at one time I had close to 200 trees.
Really? Wow.
Now I'm down to about 30 maybe, and those are suffering.
Are they? It's hard to manage, eh?
Nor the energy to work on them, but I got 3 in the show.
So you can do bonsai till you're quite elderly,
well,
eh?
What I do is my daughter moved and her son moved in with me 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I go out in the yard and they say, what tree do you want? And bring maybe a tree to the table and I'll sit there
and work
spend
on
2
it.
or 3 hours.
Oh, fantastic. And you still enjoy it. You've been doing bonsai for like...
Yeah, I think I started the club in 90.
Okay. You started this club or?
No, started with it.
Oh, with the club. Okay.
First show I remember was at a hotel there on 427.
Okay.
They've torn the hotel down, but they put up 2 giant towers.
Okay.
But it was in the basement, and we held it. They held it there, and then I was able to get it into Sherway Gardens.
Okay.
We ran it at Sherway Gardens for 6, 7 years, I'd say.
Okay.
And then we got booted out because they wanted dollars and dollars.
Yes, it's all about money, isn't it?
They
Yeah.
didn't look upon it as drawing people. But drew a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then we got moved out of there. We hardly did. Could find a place to go. So first couple of years after we moved out of Sherway, we had very little success. But
I see.
Managed to get this place. I thought came up here because it's close to my home.
I see.
And asked them if they ever would consider it because they were holding at that time the Japanese flower shows.
I see,
and
yes.
One of our long time members was a contributor to the
Okay. Yeah, so that draws the people into the bonsai shows then now.
So it was successful from the first year on, if you want to call it. You know, we get maybe 7,000 people a year through here.
Wow.
So it's not bad.
That's good. Well, thank you very much, Robert, and it was a delight seeing your trees in the show. So here is Robert's tree, an Oki false cypress. So there's the stone wall he made, which is just fantastic. Very nice, Robert. Congratulations, it's a wonderful tree.
Takes a while to do them.
Yeah. Here is a Blowy juniper. Really fantastic. Looks like one of those junipers you'd see on the mountains, windswept, 1,000 years old. Yeah, that's really, really cool. Very compact foliage. Yeah, really nice. Oh, I was shooting you guys. You're supposed to be talking. You're supposed to be talking, and then I start videoing you guys all separate. I'm going to shoot all the accent plants at the show now because there's some really good ones.
winterberry, native ilex. This one here, I am not going to be restyling, but I'm showing you the process. This tree I've been working on for 4 years. And you know, anyone can come up and have a look at it anytime during the presentation. Still in training. We're going to get into it right now. And if there's any questions, like anything, let me know. There's no silly questions. So for styling, what I'm looking for is the slower the process will be. So this plant here, if you look at the base, it's got a good size to it.
I am out in the tropical greenhouse now, checking out trees, full-size trees. Oh, I like the roots on this one. That is amazing. So that is a Ficus benjamina. Down here we have the fiddle leaf ficus. I've always got to check out the roots on it because that's what inspired me to grow my own. Oh, there they are. Wow. So cool. Those buttressed rocket-like fin roots. Yeah, that's amazing. There's so many cool trees in this greenhouse. Ones that you grow as bonsai, but these are like full-size versions of bonsai. They're amazing. So here is a guave flower spike, and it's closed this section of the greenhouse due to glass breakage because the flower went through the roof. And you can see it growing up there outside the building. Amazing. This is a scene from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Connor's standing under this giant plant with giant leaves. Looks ridiculous. Brandon's still working hard on his demo, transferring nursery stock into bonsai, or the beginnings of bonsai.
That's the front. What I'm saying is going to be the tree as I sort of create my initial design concept, and I can evolve over time and change it. This is the front right now. But next year, when I dig out the top of the soil, it's pretty deep. This whole root ball, so I've got a lot. I'll probably try to bring it down as far as I can.
I'm just trying to get one more shot of that Ficus benjamina root base. It's just amazing. A lot of the top of these trees isn't so great. They just have to cut them off so they fit in the greenhouse. So you see the top of them kind of looks like topiary. They just have to saw them off and they resprout branches. But the root bases are just amazing. And here is the silk floss tree in the corner. Ceiba speciosa. Yeah, just amazing. So there's the thorns on the trunk. And as this tree matures, they'll fall off. And the trunk will kind of go this mottled kind of gray color. And this is another tree that they just had to cut the top off it to keep it small enough to fit in the greenhouse here. Nice to see it though. So cool. And there's a bit of a root base down here on it. Some good spreading roots. So eventually it should get some buttressed roots at the base. So maybe if I keep coming to this show for the next 10 years, we'll see some cool roots forming. Alright, so that was the bonsai show. I'm going to head out now. I just had a quick walk around to the greenhouse here, and it's just always amazing. And this is free to the public. Centennial Greenhouse in Mississauga. So that was the Misseto show for 2024. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.